Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I want to do my top 10 worst MCU heroes list. Now, this is my opinion. So, if you have something different, you have a different top 10, top 5 or whatever, let me know down in the comment section what that list is. But this is my personal list, and it will not include any of the Netflix TV shows or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of the shows that is connected to the MCU. It will not include any of those. I'm only referring to the movies. But let's get this list started. Kicking off this list at number 10, I have Scarlet Witch. Now, I was thinking about altogether just leaving her off this list, mainly because of how well Elizabeth Olsen's done with the character, and also, big reason, how she was portrayed in Infinity War. Lots of emotion, interaction with Vision was really good, and of course had an emotional ending scene with her. Big reason why she's on the list, I think, is how they fumbled the backstory. Now, they didn't really go deep into whatever backstory they wanted to create for the MCU. It was kind of like just there, and then you forget about it. And this is happening in Age of Ultron. Now, people will say, well, Black Widow they didn't go to her backstory. Well, she's getting her own movie. But Scarlet Witch, they kind of already ruined it, unless they plan on changing in the future. She is getting a TV show, but we don't know what direction that TV show is going to take, and it's clearly going to take place after End Game. So, at number 10, I have Scarlet Witch. At number 9, I have Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye has seen more growth than people give him credit for in the MCU. You look at Thor 1, he was kind of the company man. Avengers, same thing. Of course, he gets mind controlled in that by Loki. Then as you get into Age of Ultron, Civil War, you see he has a family to protect. It's not just about the company, referring to S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not just about him. He actually has a family to protect. And you see that's why he takes that deal after siding with Cap at the end of Civil War. Endgame's probably going to be really big for him just because he's now going to be Ronin. Probably something happened to his family after what Thanos did. Big reason why he's on the list, I felt as though he didn't get, as being one of the original Avengers, he just didn't get a lot of screen time. Age of Ultron, the original Avengers, was where he got the most screen time. But in comparison, let's use like Black Widow's a perfect example, who she doesn't have her own movie, but she's gotten way more screen time than Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner's great, though. He's done a great job for what they've given him with this character. Not like I said, they've done a little bit more than people give credit for. But at number 9 is Hawkeye. At number 8, I have Ant-Man. Now, if you see any video what I've talked about Ant-Man, you know how much I don't like Paul Rudd as an actor. Don't know him as a person, so it's mainly just his acting. The reason he's at 8, a lot of people think he'd be a lot lower just based on the things I've said in the past, is because I think they did a solid job with his backstory. It's not great in terms of just his solo movies. The movies aren't like great. You won't put him in the top tier solo films. But I think they've done a decent job with the backstory. And they also have kind of like he's very similar to Hawkeye. He's a family man. And, you see at the end of Civil War, he takes that deal to kind of protect his family at the end of Civil War. So I think that's good. But why he's on the list, and I'll give you the number one reason. I don't need to give you any other reason. Corny. It's the only reason you need to know. At number 8, it's Ant-Man. Okay, I know this one's going to get some hate. At number 7, I have Captain Marvel. And reason she's on this list, I pointed out in my previous 2 videos. If you haven't already, go check those out. I break down the entire movie, Easter eggs, spoilers, all that kind of stuff. The reason she's on this list, she's bland and emotionless throughout the entire movie. Now, it makes sense early on, the amnesia thing. Once she gets her memories back, completely, she still is bland and emotionless. And she's supposed to be the character that's going to be the flagship character after Iron Man, after Thor, after Captain America. And it is just going to be a hard sell for some people. I know the movie's doing well, but a character that bland. Now, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She's only been in like her solo movie, and maybe she'll grow as a character because her movie took place in the 90s. Now you're in 2019. I assume that's the year they're gonna pretty much use an End Game. So hopefully there'll be some changes with the character. But the end of that trailer, she still kind of looked the same. You expect a character to change after so much time. But at number 7, I have Captain Marvel. Coming in at number 6, I have Vision. Now, Vision's creation in Age of Ultron, I thought was done well. He had some good lines in Age of Ultron. I thought everything about him was done well in that movie. Civil War, he's there for a little bit. You kind of saw the big thing they were trying to push was his relationship with Scarlet Witch, and it pretty much got confirmed in Infinity War. I like, those interactions were great. The emotion behind that, all that was great. This is one of the things that helped Scarlet Witch out. But my biggest problem and why he's on this list at the spot he's at is in Infinity War, you have an Infinity Stone, which was the Mind Stone, and you look like a complete chump throughout the entirety of the film. Now, people are like, oh, look what happened to Doctor Strange. He fought someone that had 4 Infinity Stones. Thanos at the time had 4 Infinity Stones. He had 1. Vision fought people with no Infinity Stones and got mocked throughout the entire film. So for that reason, at number 6, I have Vision. Okay, here's another one that's going to get me some hate. But at number 5, I have Drax. And a big reason, you turned this, in the comics, this badass character who only wanted to kill Thanos into mostly comedy relief in, both Guardians movie and, of course, Infinity War. He was mostly comic relief. And you didn't see any semblance of anything from the books. You didn't want to... All he wanted was to take revenge on Thanos in the books. And I know it's a completely different universe, but at least get close to the character. Don't turn him into some comedy relief joke. Now, some of the jokes are good, some are super cringy, but I don't know. I don't like a character like that being changed, a character that badass being changed into a complete joke. Batista does a good job for what they tell him to do. It's not necessarily on him. They get out the script. That's they write it. That's what they tell him to do. He does it, and he does a good job at what they told him to do. But I just don't like. It's mainly on the writers for me. I don't like the way the character's been written in the MCU. But at number 5 is Drax. At number 4, I have Bruce Banner. Not necessarily Hulk, even though they made him look like a complete coward in Infinity War after he lost the fight at the beginning of the movie to Thanos. He didn't want to come back out again, and I guess they're going to use that as some kind of story thing in End Game. But they didn't do the Hulk character justice either. But for Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's performance as Bruce Banner is very forgettable. I mean, amongst the original Avengers team, I think that's the character. They changed out Bruce Banner, no one would care. Like if you changed out Black Widow, you changed out Captain America or Iron Man or Thor, people would revolt. But Bruce Banner, no one cares. And Mark Ruffalo doesn't even do that great of a job as the character. It's pretty forgettable, and he mainly has to rely on the other characters to kind of carry scenes that he's in. Now the Hulk character, the Hulk is cool, when we do see him. And another big thing is they don't have rights to the Hulk solo movie, so I have to include him in like Ragnarok, and of course in Avengers. And that's another thing that doesn't help the character. I mean, look at 2008. They were willing. Look how easily they replaced the Bruce Banner, which that's still considered canon. Look how easily they replaced him, and no one cared. But number 4, I have Bruce Banner. At number 3, I have War Machine. Now, we're talking about another character that's been around for a long time and still can't get out of the shadow of another character. And that character I'm referring to, he can't get out of the shadow of Iron Man. And he's another character, along with Bruce Banner, who they've changed actors. They went from Terrence Howard in the original Iron Man to Don Cheadle pretty much from Iron Man 2 to now. And the character, unlike Falcon, Falcon kind of feels like, yeah, he was kind of like the sidekick to Captain America, but he feels like he's a part of the team. War Machine still seems like he comes at the beck and call of Iron Man. Maybe not so much of the case in Infinity War, but for the most part, you would expect him to kind of separate from Iron Man, and he really hasn't. And Don Cheadle, I mean, there are some people that like Terrence Howard more, and the fact that, yeah, he did get replaced after, the character got replaced with a different actor just shows you that, what if they tried to change him now? Would people care? I'm not entirely sure if they would. But at number 3, I have War Machine. Coming into number 2, I have 2 characters I want to put here. First one being Nebula. And I know she's important to Gamora, she's important to Thanos, but even in Infinity War, she was, of course, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She was shown more in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But even in Infinity War, when she finally shows up to fight Thanos on Titan, most people didn't really care about it. They wanted to see, okay, I want to see him fight Iron Man or Doctor Strange or some of the other characters. I don't really care what she was doing. And so her scenes are pretty forgettable. To me personally, I really don't like the character. Better in the books, MCU, and it necessarily does not have anything to do with the actress herself. It's just the character itself is, I just don't care about her. I just don't care about her at all. Next one, Mantis. Mantis is, also supposed to be comedy relief, along with the Drax. But I don't remember one thing in the movie she's been in. I don't remember one thing she said or done that's actually funny. Now, Drax, as cringy as I say he is at times, there's some things that he does that's funny. There are some definite funny moments with Drax. Mantis, nope. But there's nothing she does in any of the movies that I can recall that's actually funny. So at number 2, I have both Nebula and Mantis. Hell, I could put Wong here. He sucks too. So let's include him there. And at number 1, Quicksilver. Quicksilver sucks. And the story is essentially the same with Scarlet Witch. He has essentially the same story as Scarlet Witch. That's without the Scarlet Witch has Civil War. She had Infinity War to add on to the character and to flesh the character out more. Quicksilver, on the other hand, dies in Age of Ultron. And it's a common trend in the MCU where they depower these characters because he got shot with bullets. And it's known that he's much faster than that. But it was part of the deal with Fox. They get Scarlet Witch, and they get to use Quicksilver for a movie, and then of course Fox gets that back. But the one thing about Fox, despite all the problems, some of their X-Men movies have had, he's way better in the Fox universe. He probably has the best scene in Apocalypse. He's great in not First Class, in Days of Future Past. He's great, and that's a great movie. He has one of the best scenes in Apocalypse. He's probably going to be a part of Dark Phoenix. I don't know. That's what puts him at number one. The simple fact that your version of the character had a crappy, his accent sucks. He sucked as a character. Without the building of movies after that because he's dead. And then the fact that the competition did the same character way better. Say what you want about the movie he was in. Like I said, not First Class. Days of Future Past was great. But say what you want about the movies he was in. The couple of movies he was in. He was better. He was the best, to me, one of the best parts about Apocalypse. That's why he's at number one. Easily. I think Nebula and Mantis, in comparison to him, are great characters. And you saw what I said about them early in the video. But let me know down in the comment section, who are your top 10 worst MCU heroes? If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.